Well, it's the next day and it's after the inspection and it didn't go that great. Welcome back to Live With a Classic. I'm here with my Volkswagen LT31 car transporter. Sorry if I'm a little scruffy here. I rushed outside because for once it's not raining and I need to fix a couple things on this and just be able to get it working and through an inspection because I want to transport some cars on it. So that's what we're going to try to do. It's probably going to be over a couple of days because, I probably could get the back of this into my workshop. It's quite long, but then the front would stick out. So we might do that when we do the rear brakes. For some reason, the previous owner replaced the brake parts on one side, not the other, but I do have the other side. So we'll replace those. Hopefully that will fix the even brakes. We'll have to go through the parking brake, which doesn't work. Then it's just some small things like lights and stuff. It's running as it should now, and I'm just going to check the emissions with my CO meter, see how they are. They're not that picky on this thing. It's 4.5, so yeah. Fix the exhaust because it doesn't really hang right, and that was just a slight leak there, so we're going to fix that. But we need to get the winch working. It's not working. It looks a little rusty and crusty. However, the electronics back here seem to work because we hear relays clicking things. So we're going to start with that now, see if we can get the winch working because it's no use fixing everything else if I can't winch things on it. So in the glove box, there is a remote, which needs a battery, but I don't need the remote. I just need this thing to work. See, it says in and out, and it clicks. And here is the winch. However, everything looks quite rusty and crusty, but I just want to see if we have power out here, and then maybe we just need to clean things up. I don't know. But let us hook up these little alligator clips here. And then we could, afterwards, let's say there is power going to here. We could disconnect this and I could use some jumpers and connect this battery to the winch, see if we can get it to work so we don't burn up any relays or anything. So that's reading 0. Let me 5 volts, -6. All right, so we're getting about 5-6 volts, which is not enough. So let me get some spray on this. We'll loosen up the connectors, we'll clean them up, we'll see if we get full 12 volts on those. If we do, then I don't know, maybe this thing is just really bad connections. I would like to have a cover on it if I fix it or anything, but if we have the electronic parts working in there, a winch we can fix pretty easily, or we can actually borrow the one that's in my workshop, which is pretty much the exact same one like this one. All right, cables are off and I cleaned them up a little bit. So let's see if we get something. 11.3, 11.4. That could actually just be the battery voltage because it's been sitting here for a long time now, a couple weeks at least, with the battery connected. Also, of course, there will be, it won't be perfect, but let's see what the battery voltage is. 11.42, and I'm getting that out there. All right, so we have no loss really. That's perfect. All right, I have some jumper cables here, and I'm going to clean up these here because I don't want to burn up the control system in here, because if the remote works with all this, that's a really cool system, and I'm happy about that. So let me get a spare battery. We'll hook up jumper cables and see if we get the winch working. If that doesn't work, then we could try just opening up in here. Might be some brushes in there or something, cleaning it up. If not, well, I have another one. Let's see. Either we'll get big sparks or nothing will happen, or both. Yeah. We could try it the other way. And I was probably grounding things in the car. We have nothing to lose. Let's just remove that there and see. That's it. We also see, because there's usually like a freewheel on them, and see if we can turn that on, because maybe it is this part of the winch that is stuck. So we'll open up the freewheel and we'll also remove that cover there. Oh, it's quite rusty and crusty in there. Here as well, the brushes are stuck. I'll give it a shot, clean it up and everything. If it works, yeah. If not, it has the exact same mountings as the one in my workshop. And then that one's also 12 volts. I'll just put it on there for now. And then I can start using the thing. The one in the workshop, I use it really, really seldom. And then I can put that one back and buy maybe a better winch for the tow truck if I know that it works. But then at least I'll have a working winch on it. The brushes were stuck and they all move nicely now. This was also stuck, but look at this. It turns. And I've cleaned up the inside a bit. This is just like WD-40, similar. I mean, I'm not expecting miracles, but it'd be fun to try since I do have a backup. It's getting better all the time. So I think I'll put it back now, hook up some power to it. It's freewheeled on the back. See if it will turn maybe a little quicker, get some of the dirt out, and maybe this will work. Of truth, I'm not giving it much hope, but it's always fun to try. Now, it's dead, but I have a spare one we can put on, but that's not something we have to do right now because we know that the electrics and the car work. That's really good. That winch I can bolt on later. Now we'll move on to the next thing that doesn't work. All right, finally we have a day with some weather. I mean, I probably could fit this in the workshop, but the thing is, it would stick out, and if something were to break or anything or I'm stuck, then I can't work on customer cars. And yes, I do need to get this thing up and running because I do actually have some things I need to go and deliver and pick up. But yeah, still, it is not as much a priority as customer cars. So for some reason, previous owner replaced the brake shoes on the right side but not the left side. Don't know why. So I have half a brake kit here, which came with the car. Also the thermostat. But see, we have the shoes here. They're massive. And he has all the fittings and everything. So that's actually really nice. Hopefully this all comes off really well. I have hit that there with some penetrating fluid. I'm going to heat it a little bit, try and get it off. One other thing, the parking brake is inoperative. But I did one thing. Let me see if I can do it again. It doesn't want to lock into place. That is one of the things that needs adjustment. But what I did was I brought it up like that. Let me try and hold it with one hand, and then I tapped it, and now you see it locks into place. So I think we have a sticky mechanism in there. So what I'm going to do is grab some more penetrating fluid. I'll spray this. We'll see. We might have to take it all apart. But if we're lucky, we can just sort of get it all working and sitting a bit. So maybe. See? So I think I will just let that sit for a bit, then we can work it back and forth a little bit later, and we know that works. But let me try and get this drum off here, heat up a little bit, then have a look inside. Hopefully the issue is really apparent why it's not working the way it should, but I don't know. We'll see. Thermostat we might not get to now because I fixed a running issue. It probably needs a thermostat, but it looks like it's one of those aluminum housing. I might break things when I do that, so we will see. That might be a future problem, but let us tackle the brakes. Let us try heating this thing up. Overall, this thing is not really that rusty for its age, but these sort of things can really be stuck, and heat does work really well. I do have an induction heater, which I absolutely love, but that doesn't really work in this situation. But hopefully, these are pretty massive rear drum brakes on this thing. Okay, we'll give it a shot. The heat also helps to get the fluid going in there. And we have a socket here, and we're going to tap it into place. And then I have a big breaker part. Ah, no problem. Okay, that is a good first sign. Parking brake is off. I don't think we have to slacken off an adjuster. We will see. But because it had very little braking on this side, so those brake testing scales, it was like 1.7 on that side and like 0.7 on this side. So let's see. Yes, you do have some threaded things there that we could, worst case, use with a puller. But we'll heat up this edge here. And I'll continue heating and pounding and heating and pounding carefully. Try not to crack anything. Try and get this thing off. One short trip to the parts store, and I've modified this universal breakdown puller, and it seems to be working. I hear things at least coming apart. This one was quite stuck on there. I'm glad I have one of these pullers now at least. Very seldom I work on drum brakes. It's mostly on trailers. Let's see. There we go. Oh, that's heavy. Looks alright inside. Can't see any cracks or anything. So, yeah, there's nothing left on these shoes. No meat at all. Okay. It looks nice and dry from the wheel cylinder at least. All that. So, yeah. I'm going to hose all this down with some brake clean. Then start digging into here and take a picture what it looks like. Get it apart. Get some new shoes in. And also see how the adjustment works. If we can adjust all this. Alright, this is all back together. I didn't really film it just because my son was out here hanging out with me. He's still here. And yeah, he was talking all the time. So yeah, also I hate drum brakes. But it's all together. I had to use some of the old hardware and mess up because things were a little different. But yeah, shoot, I'm getting help here. Just see how bad the old ones were. There was nothing left. So that makes sense. Really weird that they only replaced one side, but maybe he replaced one side and then realized he didn't want it and that's why he sold it. Don't know. The adjuster here seems to be working fine and all of that, so that is really good there. I am just going to adjust it so that the drum just slips on, and then hopefully that should be fine. Then I'm going to see if I can reverse this thing into my workshop, just because the weather is not that stable. See if we can work on the exhaust and a couple other things in order to get this thing ready to be back on the road. With a bit of help, I got most of it in the workshop. It's a little too tall, but I want to mostly work on the rear lights and the exhaust. That's good. And I took this apart. Now see, the issue is if I tighten that spring, then it works. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a washer in there to hold that spring, because if it's that way, it will lock every single time. So let me fiddle about with that with some washers, see if we can jerry rig this up and get it working. Let's see. Oh yes. And it releases and that clicks up nicely. The only thing really left to do is you have to really push down on this contact for the light to go out. So either this is a little bit bent, or you just put a washer there and space that up so the light goes out. But that's good. Might even be confident enough to get the cover back on. This is, yeah, I don't know. I have to do a lot of cleaning up on things. But the battery is a little flat. I'm going to put that on charge, and then we can have a look at the lights a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm gonna see if I can do something about the exhaust. It's leaking in 2 places, and I bought some things which I hope should fix it. The rear lights on both sides are LEDs. They don't really do anything. Indicators work a little bit, and I think brake lights work. But I checked in here, and the grounds there don't look that excellent. So I'm going to clean those up, see if that helps. Otherwise, we'll replace them with regular stuff, because I'm not a big fan of LED lights. But if we can fix them for free, then I like them. Alright, after all that work, this is what I have. No indicators, nothing, just a little bit of a light there, and nothing on the other side. So, I went to the parts store. Partially because I don't like LEDs in the back, just because you'll get the incorrect flashing pattern unless you find one and turn on a resistor. And got trailer lights. They're kind of big, so I thought that was nice. I got the biggest ones I could find. Got all the lights for them. And then all of the side markers, like these, they're all different. All 4 of them. So I got identical ones. These are LEDs. I don't really mind those. But that is because I'm not sure how the wiring is to the side lights. And if it's not good, I'll just make my own wiring and piggyback from the tail lights to them. And then these being LEDs, they don't take like any power at all. So it's not going to be an issue. So let me start putting that on. These all come with hardware and everything. That's really nice rubber seal there. Nice big bolts. And I got some bulbs for them. And then these are some self-tappers for these. So I'm going to get cracking, put all these on. But if you have a look at this, I think... Let me see which side I'm going to... I think I want the indicators on the outside. You see... That's gonna look pretty nice, I think. Also a lot nicer than these round ones. This one has water in it. I saw when you see all the wetness right there. And yeah, I really don't like them. So time to remove them, and we'll put these on. Alright, so there we go. Professional body work. I think I want it this way around because then the lights will hang down. So just water in the bottom, it's not going to go into the lights. However, well, that's not going to be possible. Yes, it will be possible. We'll see how that works. But I cut this back, and this is not original wiring, but it is the thicker wiring here. So that's really good, at least. This wasn't used, those 2 were used. So try and cover as many holes as possible. Maybe reuse a hole. So I can reuse that hole. And there. And there I want a hole. This is, yeah, there. So we're just using a regular step drill. That should be enough for the cables. Alright, that's the cables. And, well, there are plans in the future to paint this thing, if I like it. Then I'll remove the lights and we'll paint all this. Probably brush paint the bed part of it, and then properly paint the cab, I guess. We'll see. You might be wondering why I'm bothering with all of this when I had the other lights in. Well, maybe I could get them working. Well, they were round. Can't have round lights. That looks silly when everything is square. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, my guess was that the wiring looked this bad. And these being LEDs, and I've seen that they would have been full of water, my guess is that they would fail at any point. And if I fix something, I might as well actually try and fix it and make it look better at the same time. And if an LED light fixture fails, these are really fiddly to put in. I should have done that before I mounted it. Can't do anything about it when you're on the road. But here, these are regular bulbs. I can go to the auto parts store, maybe some gas stations, and just pick up the parts. Alright, let me get, these need to go in, and then these grounding things need to go in, and the grounding wire go through. I pull through a ground here, which I will ground on the back, and then you figure out one of these is tail lights, one's brake lights, and one is indicators. So we got to figure all that out as well. But look at that. That's going to look a lot better than what we had before. Just a simple test light here, and I have the side lights on, trying to figure out what is a rear tail light. Alright, see there? So that black cable there going to the green, they're all green. So this is tail lights. Connect that to tail lights. Then we'll move on, try to figure out what is indicators and what is brake lights. Tail lights. So with the cover on and everything, that will look rather nice. So now I need to do the exact same thing, try and figure out what is brake lights and what are turn signals, and then go from there. It's a bit, yeah, it's a little bit fiddly, but start to get a hang of it, and pretty soon we'll have this together, and then I can do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, doesn't that look really nice? Check the brake lights, they work as well. That's that bulb over there. So just like to do, and now we have the correct frequency. Yes, I know we can get some LEDs with like resistance things in it, but one of those taillight assemblies costs is about half of what I paid for all of this. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to troubleshoot all of the side lights and the number plate light, and then we are good to go on lights. So under here we have some exhaust leak. There's one here, the cat, and then this is completely loose back here. So this I'm going to replace with a thing I'll show you that in a little bit. But here, for now, I'm just going to try, and I'm actually being able to move these. I heated them up around the engine, then I heated them with an induction heater and the penetrating fluid, and they're actually moving. I'm going to try and get this apart, see if I can clean up the mating surface, maybe put some sealant in there, put it back together, and then do that for now. I want to replace this at some point, but we're doing bare minimums right now to try and get this on the road. Hard to focus under here and things, but you get the basic idea. Cleaned up both of these main surfaces just a little bit with a flat disc, because there's some welds here that stuck out quite a bit, and that's where it was leaking. Cleaned up this one as well. Put that together with some paste. Yes, the cat has been decatted. It doesn't need to be functional on this car, it just needs to be there legally, but I might want to put one back on there and replace O2 sensor and all that. We'll see what the emissions are when it's all back together, but put that together with some exhaust paste, then I'll cut that off, put a clamp on there, and we should have a nice tight exhaust system. Well, this is actually bodge. I'm pretty proud of that. Turned out pretty good. And there is that, which should be nice and sealed. I'm just going to start this up a little bit. The sort of exhaust seal paste needs to warm it up a little bit for it to seal. So do that quickly. But we should have no leaks. No leaks. All working as it should now. Even seems to be passing my emission test. The limit is 4.5, we're at 1.5, so even if this thing was off a little bit, which the read's a little low, so this is probably more like 1.7, we're still doing really well. And that's with, I mean, there's no cats or anything, so that's not too bad. Just took a brief little test drive. Yeah, then bring you guys along. Wasn't that exciting, and also I have a little son with me, and it's not always the easiest to film them, but he enjoys coming along, so I do sometimes prioritize that. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you guys understand. But if you can see, we have side lights there, a side marker back there. We have tail lights. We have license plate light. So this was under this cover here. It was loose. I'm going to empty it out of all of this. See all these towing things in here. Kind of interesting. But I like the idea of this. So I'll probably put a hinge or something in it and have it accessible somehow, because it wasn't really accessible before. But I guess there was. Yeah, long history of stuff. But I have put this winch on. That's the old one. Remember, it was just completely, not worth fixing. This one I've had sitting in my workshop, and not sitting, but bolted to the wall. And I've used it to winch cars, and it works really well. Just a small one, but let's see. We have some controls here. So that works now. Really good. I do have a remote as well, which I don't know if it works. I need a battery for that, but this is good enough for now. I'm going to winch all that up. I'm going to remove the ramps because I don't really need those tomorrow. I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to put them when I'm not using them. So I need to figure out some sort of solution. They're wider than this whole area. So sliding them that way is not really, that's a future problem. But we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to clean up a couple small things, have all the lights working. We'll turn off the ignition. We will turn off the lights. That works. Parking brake work. Brakes feel pretty good. And yeah, I think we are ready for tomorrow morning. So I'll fix up these small things. I'm also going to make sure that there's no tools or things on here. Clean up these rocks and things. Wipe everything off. And then you'll join me tomorrow when we're at the inspection center. See if this thing will pass. I just had to try it for a couple of reasons. You know, if you have a tow truck, you have to try and load something. And I wanted to prove that it does fit. Yes, an XJ6 will fit on here. No problem at all. You see, there's some space up there. And there's even a little bit of space back here from the end of it. Went up the ramps, no problem at all. Wasn't even trying to bottom out or anything. Exhaust is pretty low on this one. So that's really, really good. And this is probably one of the longest things I'll ever have on this tow truck. So I think it's really good. There's still some suspension travel left in the rear. So we're not completely on the bump stops yet. We're about halfway down. So that's not bad at all. All right, I'm going to drive this thing off again. I didn't really want to film it, first time doing it and all. But we're going to do a whole load thing with a different car as the first to drive with a load on this thing. And you guys will see that in a future video. But I'll unload this thing, continue cleaning off some things, and then tomorrow we'll take this thing to get inspected. Well, it's the next day, and it's after the inspection, and it didn't go that great. But let's start with the good news. After I fix the running of the engine, this thing will do highway speeds no problem at all. I'm doing like 110 kilometers an hour, so was that like 70 miles an hour? No problem at all, so that's really good. However, when I bought this thing, it wasn't inspected and it had failed before, and I fixed all the issues on that failure, and those were fine. However, I found new things. Can happen sometimes. A little disappointed, to be honest, because I thought this thing would be fine. Nothing is really that major. It needs a little bit of welding in one place, but I have the welder. He can fix that in the back. So the welding is that it's extended in the back, and the last bit of that, and I saw that a little bit as well, it's starting to rust a little bit in one of it's just like a square piece of tubing frame there, so that can be replaced pretty easily. Both lights are a little bit low, so I need to raise them up a bit. I have one of the indicators on the right stopped working up front, so that's just sort of bad luck. It was working yesterday. Here's a weird thing, because this thing has probably had this for a long time. As you know, there's some lights in the back, white lights you can turn on with some thing in here, and you need to have a light indicating that they're on. And this thing has never had that, so that's odd. But yeah, needs that. Okay, we'll add that. Parking brake on the right rear is not working. I only fixed the left because the other guy said that he'd fix the right and it sort of felt fine, but we have to have a look at that. That's all right. One thing that this thing also had before, remember I replaced the rear lights, and I didn't think about this, but the old rear lights did not have any like reflectors in them, like passive ones, and these ones do not as well, and I need those. So I need to get those and add those on the side and the back. That's really not that bad. Tires are starting to get a little bit worn out in the rear. I knew that, so that's good to know, but I will want new tires. There's a small leak where you fill it up, and I noticed that now. I just filled it up with fuel. There's a vent up there, and the vent hose is a little cracked. I saw that, so yeah, that's really easy to fix. And then there is a ball joint in the left that has a little bit of play. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, some things to fix. It's a lot less than before, but it's new things, which is a little bit annoying. I've called around to my tire place. He can probably get tires for this thing. See if I can get some used tires. Aren't that expensive. He probably has some laying around. They're 14-inch. And yeah, fix the other things. But I'm going to head back home now. And then we'll find out a way to sort of wrap this up. I thought we'd end on a more positive note. But I'm a little disappointed. That's why I didn't film at first. I was quite disappointed. But I'm starting to realize it's really not that bad. But you know when you sometimes feel like you're done with something? I felt like I was done with this, but apparently I was not. Well, I made it back, and it's actually running better and better. The little high idle, it goes down sometimes. I think I know that in this system, there is an idle boost little valve, and that might be sticking. So we'll have a look at that, but not really something I'm worried about. I'm not going to sit idle for long. When you're driving, it's not an issue. You need to sort of draw the line somewhere. I need to use this as a work vehicle, and I need to spend more of my time at the moment working on customer cars, making a living. And well, this thing will help me with that, picking up some things as well. But yeah, not a perfect score, some things to fix, but here you have 30 days. You can still drive it. So I'm going to fix just that little piece of hose there so we don't have any fuel leak, and fix a couple small things, and then I'm actually going to use it over the next couple of days. You'll see a video of that pretty soon. We'll use it a little bit, and then I'm going to order some of the other parts I need, the ball joint and things, and fix all that and get inspected again. Would you like to see the other work I do to it, or are you sort of done with it for now? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.